Hi everybody, this is where we left off today in class with overexploitation of the O in HIPCO. So I want to talk about elephants and about the ivory trade. So this has largely been regulated under the CITES Treaty, the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species, which we're going to get to. And you needed permits to trade elephant ivory, the tusks, to trade it. And it's used for all different sorts of arts, mostly. So confiscated ivory, though, is stockpiled, and people go and they steal it and stuff like that. And in 1989, there was a worldwide ban in trade. And then there have been a lot of shows of we're not going to put up with uh, trafficking and illegal poaching. And now instead of having stockpiled ivory of like, okay, well, what do we do with it? They burn it. They just get rid of it because they don't want it to have any value whatsoever. Okay, so rhinos, they're my personal favorite, unlike pandas. So you have a couple different rhinos. You've got black rhino and white rhino, but and a couple others as well. But they used to be found all over Africa, and now you only have remnant populations in Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Kenya has lost 98% of its black rhino population in 17 years. 2% of the population is left. Okay? So in order to get a rhinoceros horn off of it, you can cut it like the chainsaw being used in this picture here. What that's doing is they're cutting it off so that poachers don't want the rhino, so that they don't kill the rhino because it doesn't have a horn, so I don't need it kind of thing. But mostly what happens is to sedate a rhino to be able to do that, why? So they usually just kill it and then hack it off. And like your nail, you can cut your nail off, it keeps growing just like rhino horn, but it's if you kill the animal and you pull the whole thing out literally from the root, you get more rhino horn. Oh, here we go. So South Africa is an incredibly important country for rhino conservation. It's home to 83% of Africa's wild rhino, and then 73% of all wild rhinos in the world live in South Africa, the country. We've got a bunch of different rhinos. The Javan is critically endangered. There are like 30 of them left. I think the last count was 22 that I saw. Sumatran, same thing, 150 to 200. You have black rhinos, which hover about 5,000, and white rhinos about 20,000. They're near threatened, but their population is still good. But they all have horns. And here is a white rhino, and this is in Kruger National Park in Africa. Okay, and here is a picture of rhino poop, because why not? So in this guy's, what you're seeing on your right-hand side, that's white rhino poop, and black rhino poop is on the left. What it is they have different mouths. So the white rhino looks like this, and the black rhino is more pointed down, and they have different teeth, and so they leave different marks. So these are my pictures. So I was in South Africa, Kruger National Park, and this was our guide, and I was like, I want to see black rhino. He's like, well, here's the poop. I was like, well, let me take a picture for class. And here's how, not necessarily they keep rhinos in, but this is how they try to keep poachers out. And with technology, the past couple of years, poachings have gone up and down because they'll smuggle people into the parks. Okay, rhinos are protected by armed guards, and it's kill or be killed. Okay, so they are protecting not just rhinos, but all wild animals in this park, also including a huge herd of African elephants. And the whole park is surrounded by barbed wire, but with drones and everything like that now, it's almost it's very hard to stop poaching, but they try. So African rhinos poached. This is until 2018. Poaching really peaked in 2014 and 2015, and if it kept going like that, these rhinos were going to become extinct. So here is a rhino that was shot. And if you notice on its shoulder, this is from an article in National Geographic. And this rhino is a black rhino, and it was shot and it had a shattered shoulder blade, and they had to end up euthanizing this animal. But the two others that it was with did survive, and they went to a rehab facility, but they'll never be in the wild again. One other thing that they're doing is, this is a sign, and it says rhino horns on this reserve are treated and unfit for human consumption. So what they're doing now is they're drilling small holes into a rhino horn, and they're injecting it with a parasite. And it doesn't hurt the rhino, but if somebody eats this rhino horn, they get deathly ill, like massive diarrhea, vomiting, everything like that. And I know you're probably sitting there going, why would you eat a rhino horn? Okay. Rhino horn is like compressed hair, or it's like our nails. And in some countries, okay, you have rhino going from Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, going to China, Vietnam, Taiwan, North Korea, Japan, those countries. And what they use it for, this woman has a little grinder and she's grinding this rhino horn. Okay, you can see in the Aquafina bottle over here, it's like nail clippings, like filing your nails, and apparently that's what it smells like. But in certain folklore medicine, it's a cure for cancer. It is like the equivalent of Viagra. So these folk medicines in Western medicine. Listen, I'm the first one who's going to go homeopathic on something. I'm Greek. It's all about herbs and everything like that. This is scientifically proven not to work. Because if rhino horn could cure cancer, I'm pretty sure that the pharmaceutical industry would be all over that. Right? So an 8-pound horn like this on the black market can fetch $360,000. So here's what I was telling you about before. What they do is they sawzall literally off rhino horns. That red is to mark how far you can cut down, because if you've ever cut like your dog's nails or something, if you cut down too far, it will bleed. And then what you have now is a rhino that shouldn't be poached because it doesn't have a rhino horn. What they were finding, though, is that rhinos that they were dehorning them were still being poached. And it was because you were trying to reduce the supply. So this horn will eventually grow. But if I have a couple rhino horns stockpiled and rhinos go extinct, then the price for my rhino horn that I have now skyrockets because you can't get it anymore. It's a supply and demand thing, and it's terrible. So here, these guys, move myself, are guiding this rhino, and it was one of 7 species of northern white rhino that were on a brink of extinction. And this was from 2014. It was one of only 7 of the subspecies, and then this one became the last one, and then it died. So that was 2 years ago. The last one died. So there's no more subspecies of northern white rhino. They are now extinct. All right. So World Wildlife Federation, not WWF SmackDown. Okay. Their goal for this one program is to boost the growth rate of the black rhino in South Africa. So what they're doing is, you have certain areas in South Africa that have a lot of rhino. And what they're doing is, now that those rhinos are almost overpopulated because they're protected so well over here. So what they're doing is they're taking black rhinos from over here and now they're putting them over here. But how do you move a black rhino? How do you move a rhino? Okay, so what you need to know here is no rhino were harmed. They were flown for less than 10 minutes. They were sedated. Oh, that ruins it. And they were under the observation of vets the whole time. 20 rhinos were relocated. And this is what happens. Literally, they attach them to helicopters and they fly them over. So this is the video for it. I will link it along with this screencast. Okay. And it's a super short, really emotional video, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. All right. So that's your rhinos and your elephants. And you're going to need this information for class the next time I see you and we're going to do some endangered species stuff. Bye.